Callum Hawkins, a Scottish athlete, collapsed while competing in the marathon event at the 2018 Commonwealth Games held in Australia. According to the BBC, what caused Hawkins to collapse was none other than heat exhaustion. Climate change had a huge factor in this event because, according to the CSIRO, since 2013 to today, Australia has been getting warmer and warmer by the year. The problems that climate change creates are the increase in terrible weather, storms, and the looming economic instability. The causes of these problems, connecting it to the sports world, are the sports industry's lack of care over carbon emissions that can lead to the cancellation of sporting events and games. And two solutions to combat these effects are the Sports for Climate Action Initiative and the Race to Zero campaign. Climate change creates the possibility of an increase in severe weather events that can lead to situations like Callum Hawkins having to stay in a hospital bed as a precautionary measure of his heat collapse. According to the NRDC, these events span from hurricanes to wildfires to extreme heat waves that we see in Australia. Additionally, it is noted by the NRDC that these events can lead to property damage, displacement of populations, and risk of death within cities. Viewing this problem in a business perspective, climate change opens the door for economic instability. As noted by Arbodola, these effects have the potential to leave 100 million people in poverty by 2030. That's only 7 years from now. Additionally, these effects would negatively impact college graduates and potential college athletes who don't make it into the big leagues when transitioning from school to the workforce. As the weather worsens, sports organizations are going to be forced to either start having to move game dates or outright cancel them. With no games played or no events hosted, the potential loss of revenue generated and the potential costs increasing can result in taking away money that could cover an athlete's and workers' salaries who work within the stadiums. Additionally, the sporting industry's lack of care of carbon emissions produced is incredibly damaging to our environment. According to the United Nations themselves, the sporting industry contributes to carbon emissions that rival the emissions produced by a medium-sized country. These sporting organizations need to realize that they can still host these games or host these events while also implementing sustainable principles that the United Nations recommends countries use worldwide. We as a society can combat these problems by attacking the roots of the problems. And the first step in doing so involves the Sports for Climate Action Initiative. As stated by the UNFCCC, the 5 principles for the Sports Climate Action Initiative that are agreed upon between sports organizations all pivot around attempting to convince businesses to be more sustainable. The public can push for their favorite sports teams through actions spanning from fan mail and emails to even protesting outside their stadiums to be more sustainable and to show their support for the Sports for Climate Action Initiative. Additionally, we can offer to change our lives and to show these sports teams, sports organizations that it is not hard to be more sustainable within our lifestyles. Additionally, a great cause to join is the Race to Zero campaign. They're a global campaign that hopes to rally leadership and support from businesses to investors with the goal of obtaining sustainable growth within our societies and within their own businesses. According to the UNFCCC, the public can either push for their teams to join the Race to Zero campaign, or they can individually join the campaign to show their support and to convince their favorite sports teams to be more sustainable. To conclude, to combat the increase of terrible weather storms and economic instability caused by the combination of a cancellation of sporting events, resulting in the loss of revenue and the lack of care of carbon emissions presented by the sporting industry, the public needs to show its support for the Sports for Climate Action Initiative to have a future where the sporting industry lasts. By supporting the Sports for Climate Action Initiative and encouraging/joining the Race to Zero campaign, we as a collective can avoid putting our beloved athletes like Callum Hawkins in situations where they can find themselves in harmful, life-endangering situations. The way that we can show our support is to either push for our favorite sports teams to join the Sports for Climate Action Initiative or by joining the Race to Zero campaign ourselves. Overall, the sports industry needs to realize the effect that it has on our environment. And we, the public, can show our favorite sports teams how they can be more sustainable in order to increase the health of our environments. Thank you.